Hello?
Why you are not recording a movie review for the movie based upon me.
Mum, I told you to stop prank calling. It's getting really fucking boring now. Hi guys, Zach here of Articulate Warbling, and I am here to review, not in video form, but audio form, the movie The Zodiac Killer. So, this is a grindhouse B-movie which was made to ensnare the real-life Zodiac at the time of release. Before I go any further with my own opinions, I read up on Letterboxd one quippy, short, but concise and truthful review. This is as it reads. This was made as a plot to catch the real Zodiac killer by luring him into a theatre to be bored to death. I just snorted, that's how funny it is. I can't lie, that pretty much summarises my feelings. But the film has enough of that 70s grain grubbiness, which is retained and heightened by new restoration to appease me and many other cinephiles.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Keel here. Tonight, we have more news on the Zodiac Killer.
Hey, fellas, hold it down. I want to hear this.
He writes another letter to the papers. And I quote, "This is the Zodiac speaking. I am the murderer of the taxi driver over on Washington and Maple Street. They could have caught me last night if they had searched the park properly instead of holding road races with their squad cars." I'm the Zodiac! I'm sick, you say. I should be put away, but I'm still loose, aren't I?
The film isn't without some tense moments, with some pretty hilarious beats, especially a scene where a spoilt brat is left looking off camera and screaming at a guy who has just rescued him from a tree.
Got him!
There we go. Safety
You all right? What do you say to the nice man? Say thank you. I don't like him.
And just outright states it, I don't like him. Wow, what a superb performance. And I hate kid actors, especially kid actors in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties era. I was thinking that kid captures child intuition and outspokenness and the lethality of being a child around the age of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it is to a real self-righteous degree. We are all like that as kids. Lethal and brutal with no filter. That, and it made me giggle. This has a nice 4K restoration that seems to heighten and retain the 70s look and texture. And to a cinephile, it is to a pleasing standard. It also makes it a passable 85 minutes and change to watch. It's easy on the eye. I don't know, you just seem to program into these forms of cinema and movies with that grit, that grime. I just love it. The aesthetic and the era it was made in. There is some cool camera moves and editorial flourishes that make it stand out. More so than an easy cash grab B-movie, which it kind of is, appealing to the scared masses, feeding into that hysteria that, even though decades later, hasn't really subsided. Though it can be seen as a poorly initiated and ultimately failed attempt at nabbing the real Zodiac, it's a good film. And it does seem like quite a reactionary cash grab attempt at trying to get bums and seats, all while attempting to bait the killer. It is a decent enough flick. It's a Boshi concept, made by a guy with no past experience in making movies. His pizza business was going bust, so he's like, I've got to make a quick buck. Let's make a movie based around the Zodiac Killer. Hey, why don't I antagonize this fucker? By making a movie. Now, there's a lot of history that goes behind this, a lot more than I've delivered, but instead of getting it off me, get it from the Blu-ray put out by 101 Films, which was originally put out by American Genre Film Archive. 101 Films have just acquired the UK distribution for it. Those are the guys that really push these types of movies and get them bigger releases. I give it 3 stars. 3 stars because it is what it is. It's one of those types of films. Interestingly enough, Tom Hansen, the director, only went on and directed one other film in 1972. This one called The Big Score, or A Ton of Grass Goes to Pot, about rival gangs who battle it out for the largest shipment ever. This isn't attainable, but I'd be interested in watching that. But what a transition. A franchise maker, a man who sells pizza for a living, going, I'm going to make a film. That's fucking awesome. I do recommend The Zodiac Killer. Nope, it hasn't got anything on David Fincher's, but it's good enough to pass away an evening.